Hey guys, how's it going? Phil here from PRC Taping. Today I wanted to talk about the line of Columbia flat boxes. Now the Columbia flat boxes range from 5.5 inches all the way up to 14 inches, many variations in between, and I'm going to get to that quickly in this video for you. So one of my favorite boxes to run is the 8-inch Fat Boy box. This thing is super versatile. It's great for first coat. It fills that bevel in really nice. And I'm going to talk about settings a little bit later, but I typically run my settings on about 2 or 3 for my first coat. But yeah, like I said, that is one of my favorite boxes to run for first coat. I typically do an 8 or a 10 on my first coat. It really depends, and I'm going to get into a few settings in a minute here. So Columbia has Fat Boy boxes, and they also have regular size boxes. So this 14-inch here is a regular size, and as you can see, the Fat Boy holds much more mud. And what I want to mention too is Fat Boys only come in 8, a 10, and a 12. They don't come in a 14, and they don't come in a 5.5. Columbia also makes a 7-inch box, which only make a regular size for that. And again, many have their pros and cons, so it's all personal preference on what size boxes you want to run, but I'm going to get into a few more settings now that you can do on your job site to get a great finish. So the most common question I get is what I run my flat box settings at, and I just want to mention that it really depends on where you are, what kind of drywall you're using, how the framing is, how old your box is, how old your blade is. There's so many variations, and I just want to say that it's the most important thing to do is play around with your settings and know what you should and shouldn't do and how much mud you should be putting on the wall. So for instance, this is the settings I use. It might not work for everybody. My first coat, if I'm using my 8 or my 10, it's typically a 2 or a 3. 3 sometimes is perfect and I will not touch it. So again, 3 for my first coat. When I'm running my 12-inch box as my second coat, I typically run that on a 3. I never go any lower than a 3. Sometimes I hit a 4, but again, it depends on the board. And then when I end on my 14-inch box, it is a very, very tight skim. I like to go from thick coat to a very, very tight skim coat. My 14-inch box, I run it on 4 typically, never on 5. 5 tends to over bow the crown, and I like to do about a 4 on my 14-inch coat. I just want to say you want to make sure you dial in your settings yourself for your own personal preference, because it is going to vary from box to box and from job site to job site. Because again, I do adjust my boxes as I go as well. One thing I want to mention is maintaining these boxes. You want to make sure you're always oiling the gasket in here, the wheels, and there's a little rubber gasket inside here. You want to make sure that's all oiled up all the time. I use a product called Fluid Film. I've talked about it before. You want to make sure you're always cleaning and oiling these up, because easier to push, and it just makes it run so much smoother when you have it all oiled and cleaned up properly. Cleaning these boxes are really easy. You pull these tabs, this will flap down, and you just hose it all down. It's super easy to clean, and again, maintaining them is make sure you oil before and after use. So the Fat Boy boxes come in an 8, a 10, and a 12 only, and you can get the wheels on the outside, or you can get the inside track box wheels, which are my favorite. Try those out, tell me what you think. So that's a quick overview of the Columbia flat boxes, ranging from 5.5 all the way up to 14. A few different things in between, the Fat Boys, the regulars, and a few tips and tricks along the way. And I hope you guys enjoyed that quick video.